If you have questions, just let me know. Vendor performance, as we know, is a program that was designed to improve vendor performance and reduce costs through the entire supply chain by partnering with our vendors. The program involves identifying measurable key business metrics, setting reasonable and achievable goals, and reviewing vendor performance on a regular basis and developing joint action plans for improvements. We believe that by working together with common goals, both SHNC and our vendor partners can improve efficiencies, reduce costs, and achieve higher level of performance that would result in improved satisfaction for our customers. So vendor performance metrics are basically on-time delivery, fill rate, pack size, no ASN or invalid ASN, just-in-time audit, shipment labeling, ship point audit, track detention, missing label of lading, transportation issues. The on-time delivery for our collect vendors is basically, there are two ways of looking at the performance. We schedule the carrier pickup date versus the ship date in ASN. Expect the vendor-initiated PO change must arrive by the original SCA date, meaning when the load was scheduled, the pickup date is what we go by for evaluation. So if you have the pickup date scheduled on the 5th, you're expected to have your doors open on the 5th. The vendor is not responsible for carrier missed pickups. Although when there is a missed pickup, the vendor has to go online and file a missed pickup report through the ShipSmart application. It has to be done within 24 hours, otherwise the system will not let you. And if you do it, the system will not allow you to redo it again. So we encourage our vendors to go in and fill out that missed pickup report that will make the charges void, and keep a copy of the report, because in the case something happened and there is a charge, that missed pickup report will be a good supporting documentation to avoid the charges. Some of the issues that our collect vendors face, the vendor is not ready to ship for whatever reason, the inventory or the goods are not ready. ASN ship dates in ASN is incorrect, and sometimes it happens. The carrier reschedules or missed the planned pickup, and PO change not properly marked in the system, and it didn't go through, which results in charges. On-time delivery, however, for prepaid vendors is different, because the prepaid vendors, evaluation for performance is based on the delivery date instead of the pickup date. So the ship to arrive SCA date versus the gate dates at the DC. The vendors, they have 4 business days, 4 business day window for less than truckload shipment, 3 days before the SCA date and the SCA date itself. And for truckload, they have 2 business days, the 1 business day before and the SCA date itself. Vendor-initiated change to the SCA date will use the original SCA date for evaluation. The delivery issues that we have seen in the past are either gate arrival discrepancies, dates are not matching what's in the bill of lading, PO change not updated in the system, carrier issues. Sometimes trucks faces some technical issues or mechanical issues, and appointments at the DC. Sometimes our DCs are booked and can't receive the loads And then we encourage our vendors to communicate any change to the delivery to their analyst or transportation. That way they have a backup documentation that they tried to meet the delivery date and it didn't happen. The expense offset charges that incurs are 5% of the cost of the value of the PO. The cost equals the PO value of merchandise received late at the DC. It applies to both truckload and less than truckload shipments for prepaid and both for collect vendors. The next metric is fill rates. The quantity received at the DC divided by the quantity ordered on the PO is what makes up the fill rate percentage. It's calculated once a week for all the POs with the SCA dates during the week, and it's calculated 14 days out after the SCA date at the end of the week. No expense offset if fill rate average for SCA week is at or above 97%. If average fill rate for a week is below 97%, all the PO lines for that week will be subjected to expense offset, including the ones with fill rates above 97, based on all the POs with the receipts with the SCA date for the week being evaluated. So if, for example, if you have a shipment that is, and we're probably going to go over this in the next slide. If you have shipments that was split, you had half this week and half next week. If the PO was delivered within 14 days, there should be no charges. Some issues are a PO adjustment not coded correctly. The coding process that we have are two codes, V for vendors initiated and R for revised by the Sears team or the Sears Kmart team. If the team chose V, that means that they are holding the vendor liable for the change, and charges will apply. And if the change was coded R, then the vendor should not be charged because it was initiated by our business. Sometimes we have wrong pack configuration that is not right in IMA, and it goes on through the systems. And to fix that, IMA has to be fixed. Multiple shipments, as I said, if we have multiple shipments and one of them was not within the 14 days, charges will apply. The expenses are broken down based on the fill rate percent. The first row we have in the PO line rates 95 to 99.99 for the advertised merchandise. We charge 2% of deviation cost. For non-advertised merchandise, it's 1%. As you can see here, the advertised merchandise is a little bit higher than the non-advertised merchandise, and it goes down all the way to below 80%, below 79.99. Some of the questions that may help you out with the fill rate is, what if I only have one order and I shipped 50% of the order on Friday and the remainder next week? If both shipments are received within 14 days after the STA date, your actual fill rate would be 100% for the PO, and the no fill rate expense offset would be assessed. You may be subjected to an expense offset for an on-time delivery metric. Just like I mentioned before, if it was within the 14 days, there will be no charges for fill rate. What if I shipped over the order amount? You may be subjected to an expense offset. Fill rate calculation accounts for overages by using absolute value. The pack size. The item configuration received at the DC must match the PO. Carton quantity and configuration equals the number of units in inbound cartons to the DC packed in ordered configuration. Example, a quantity of 12 could be packed either one carton with 12 pieces, one carton with 3 inner pack of 4 pieces in each pack, or one carton with 2 inner packs of 6 pieces in each pack. Only the order configuration is acceptable. Some of the issues, multiple item setups in IMA are available for Sears holding to order, and if it's not selected correctly, charges will be generated. The back size changed. Sometimes they initiate the item setup in one pack and they change it to another pack size, and sometimes system does not change or get updated, and the problem or the mismatch doesn't nobody notice the change until at the end until the vendor ships or something. So those are the issues that we have to look at, and if IMA is correctly set up, the pack size issue does not exist. The pack size expense offsets. There is a flat fee per PO, $300 per add PO, and $100 and $150 per non-add PO. The no ASN or invalid ASN metrics. A valid ASN should be available when the shipment arrives at the DC. That's a must. There's no question about it, because having the goods at the DC without ASN generates a lot of manual work and extra charges. And for those who have their location closer to the DCs, we incorporated 5-hour grace period for the chargeback. Sometimes the goods get to the DC before the ASN is sent, so we have 5 hours grace period for that. The jet shipments without a valid ASN may be returned to the vendor. Inbound and outbound transportation may be charged back to the vendor. The problems we see for a no ASN is, number one, no ASN was sent to begin with. ASN contains errors. One of the elements of the ASN is not valid. Specific line item data in ASN does not match what was ordered on the PO and should have been shipped. KSN or G10 or sometimes just late ASN, where the goods received at the DC and the ASN came a day or 2 days late. To specify the contact person to receive the fatal error notice, either include the contact information in each EDI 856 ASN transaction or send the contact information to Sears EDI to be loaded into our database for future notification. When there is an error with the EDI, our EDI team sends an email to whoever is the main contact in your company with the error and resolution to what could be done. The expense for a no ASN for DC stock PO is $150. For JIT PO is $1 per shipping carton when a shipment must be held while vendor is contacted regarding a missing or invalid ASN. $3 per shipping carton for each invalid ASN received that must be corrected by Sears Holding EDI team, and $5 per shipping carton for each shipment manually received due to a missing or invalid ASN. The JIT audit metric is a random sampling of cartons to ensure cartons' content matches ASN. If carton quantity does not match the ASN, then a second count is conducted to confirm the first count. Vendors are welcome to schedule a visit to the DC to view the next audit of their shipments. Only the shortage error will result in the expense offset. When the vendor gets the charge for JIT, it shows both shortage, overage, and some other miscellaneous. But the charge is only valid for shortages. It's based on shortages only. The charges are a $200 admin fee plus the error rate percent times the cost of the merchandise. The error rate percent is the shortage quantity divided by ASN quantity for the sampled carton. Shipment labeling. A G1014 barcode is required on each shipping carton except for the shipping carton containing merchandise for JIT POs. Shipping cartons that are also the consumer selling unit packaging, and like TVs and stereos and items like that. A GF1 128 shipping label is required on each shipping carton containing merchandise for a JIT PO. Shipment labeling expense offset. Violation includes but not limited to the following: the barcode label not on the carton as required by the flow type, barcode label not in a required format, the barcode not in a required position on the carton, or the barcode's less than the minimum required size, and the size of the barcode is smaller or not in the regular size. Barcode scanned with less than B grade. Shipping G10 scanned from G1014 barcode is not an IMA. These are all examples of violation that will generate charges. A $3 per carton with a $50 minimum charge for shipments. The expense offset for ship points audits is ship points audits to begin with is a failure to ship from the authorized ship points specified in the purchase order. Sometimes we have IMA has a ship point and the goods will ship to a different ship point. A $250 for non-compliant shipments plus the difference between the actual transportation cost and the transportation cost from the authorized ship point will apply. The issues with ship points are the vendors changed the ship points in ShipSmart for a specific PO, but the ship point was not changed for the item in IMA, or ship point changed or just not set up in IMA at all. Next, we move to the truck detention charge or truck detention exception, exceeding 1 hour loading time for collect truckload, light pickup, or 30 minutes for less than truckload shipment. A $15 per increment in 15 minutes increment after the loading time. Some vendors they have loads that require more than 30 minutes or 1 hour or 30 minutes. They should talk to their buyers about possibility of figuring out how to work with the timing. The missing bill of lading. Failure to provide a complete and accurate bill of lading for each trailer and destination that includes all required information. A $250 per non-compliant bill of lading will apply. Program administration for expense offsets. A notification are mailed to vendors' key contacts either weekly or monthly depending on the type of the claim. Vendors have a 60-day dispute period, 7 days for JIT audit. After the vendor receives the notification, they have 60 days to review the charges, confirm with the buying team, and dispute their charges. For jet POs, it's only 7 days. After 7 days, the claim closes, and the review on it will not take place. Deduction taken from the remittance check either before or after the dispute period, depending on the type of the claim. To dispute your claims, you provide supporting documentation within the dispute period, within the 60 days. And the dispute and the documentation that mostly required are the bill of lading, missed pickup reports, PODs, and invoices sometimes, or a confirmation from the buying team if there is change that didn't go through the system. A confirmation from them that says this is valid, this is true. Those are all supporting documentation that can be used to dispute claims. Metric changes will be communicated in advance via email and posted on vendor portal. We encourage our vendors to use Workbench for detailed information about the performance. Sometimes vendors have their key contact information outdated. We encourage them and we ask them to update their information, because that's how they will receive all the non-compliance notifications. And in the case they didn't receive anything, they can go to Workbench and review their performance. This next slide shows you an example of the chargeback notification that is received if the vendor was not compliant. Basically, it lists the vendor's information, the review period, and the total chargeback, including the deduction number, the PO number, ASN, dates, the planned pickup or the gate date, the variance, the days of variance, the days, how many days the goods were late, location of the DC appointment, and the term, if it's collect or prepaid vendor. PO change, the PO change shows if there is a change in the PO, will show either R or V on the deduction amount. This notification is very important. It has to be accompany the claim email that you will send to vendor performance. It is part of the dispute process. Without this chargeback notification, the team that handles claims will not be able to review the claim without it. That's why it is very important to have the main contact person's information updated in the system. Deduction codes for vendor performance, expense offset charges, and where to dispute or request information. This list is very handy to use. The codes are for the first 4 to 6 characters of deductions. Like, for example, if you have ASN issue, the deduction will have vendor performance, ASN VP, ASN, and plus the 9-digit number that will come after the alpha letters. When you dispute a claim, it is recommended that you put in the subject line the type of the metric or the error that you're receiving or that you are disputing. Okay, so the codes are the first 4 to 6 characters of the deduction number in the email notification and on VP deduction report in the AR section of the Workbench. Workbench performance. every vendor, everybody, and the time of onboarding, they have access to a Workbench. So when you go in and you want to look at your performance, you access your Workbench, you select your standard business process, and select vendor, the vendor performance. Let's say you want to check one of the metrics, bid rate or no ASN. You click on one of them and you click submit on the top of the on the right top of the screen, including the date that you're looking for, the pay done number, and other options to filter with, peer-to-peer paid or collect, or any of these options you see in that screen will be used for your review. Once you're done, you click submit, and it sends you to another screen that shows an overall of what you have under within that period of date or under that DUNS number. When you click on that number of deliveries or anything that is hyperlinked, when you click on it, it will take you down to another Zoom screen. If you want to export this information, you can export it as an Excel file. When you click on the hyperlinked numbers, it'll take you to another screen that shows you more details. For example, this one, once you click on one of the hyperlinks on this screen, it takes you to a more detailed screen that shows you some detailed information. As I said, you can export that to an Excel, which is much easier to review and manage. Viewing this information in Workbench will allow you to dispute this before it goes into full charge or actual charge. The deductions are in Workbench 60 days before they go actual. So vendors, they have access to this information to review it, to get together with the buying team, figure out what's going on, if charges are not valid to them, and if you look like you did deliver it on time and you shouldn't be charged. Getting together with your business office and figuring out what's going on, it will allow you to maintain your good performance. The key points to remember: vendors have 60 days to dispute their all of your metrics except the JETS. JETS has a period of 7 days before deduction is taken from their checks. The deductions are taken, or deduction amounts are taken from the next checks or the next invoices. To avoid chargebacks, obtain written approval from your buyer before changing PO quantity or delivery date. Always have a written backup documentation that you can support your claim. Ensure receipt of PO change notification via email for verbal PO changes. Use Workbench for detailed information about your performance. Refer to the compliance section of Kmart's vendor performance or vendor information guide, or Sears vendor information guide as applicable for additional compliance information. Make sure the proper associate is designated as the key contact for your company to receive expense offset notification. The major issues that we receive in terms of chargeback notification is the vendor's contact information or the contact person is not updated, and we encourage our vendors to make sure that person receives the charges or receive the notifications, and they're aware of the charges that are happening. Any questions that you guys might have at this time? If you guys want to ask? I'm sure you guys have a lot. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I had you on mute.
I should have asked this question from the beginning, not now.
Can we get a copy of this? This is good. This is a good summary.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send out the copy of the recording to everyone that's been signed into the webinar today.
Okay, excellent.
Will that include the PowerPoint slides as well?
I can include the PowerPoint as well.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Also, I had another question. You mentioned that one of the pieces of evidence used to, I guess, dispute a chargeback would be a missed pickup report?
Yes.
Okay. Currently, I don't believe there's any way that we're able to generate or print one of those. What we usually do is we'll take screenshots whenever we do generate one to use as backup. Is there any other way that we could possibly get something to print out?
Unfortunately, that's the only one for now. I know that if you try to do it again, it will the system will give you this error message that says it was already been processed, and that's another way of using it, because sometimes if you can't save it, then it's a shame if you need it later on and you can't find it. But once you go in and you try to do it again, the system will tell you that you've done it already. That screenshot is enough for our team to look at it and review it.
Okay.
But
okay.
the vendor has 24 hours to go into the system and enter that missed pickup, along with an email to transportation and the analyst. They have to know that that's what's happening and that there is a missed pickup.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, if you don't have any other questions right now, but you have something that you think of maybe as soon as they hang up or a day or two from now, you can always email vendor, PERF, @SearsHC.com. You could also email Vendors University, and I can forward it to the correct box. But this is your last chance. If you have a question you'd like to ask Laura right now on the phone, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, have a great day, and we will send this information out to you.
Okay.
Just remember, guys, that there is a 60-day period to review the claims. After 60-day period, there will be no reviewing. Supporting documentation, the bill of lading, the missed pickup reports, invoice, an email from the buying team or the analyst that that confirms the change or the delay or whatever the case is. And jet merchandise is 7 days. That if you want to dispute the charge for jets, it's only 7 days, no more than that. The key contact information has to be updated if the person changes the role or left the company. Please email us and we'll change it in the system. If you guys don't have any questions, I wish you guys good luck, and always email us with any questions you have, and until next time.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.